What is happening, everyone? It's GBall, and I have a knife here to unbox for you, coming in from the Vosteed crew. This is going to be a new addition to their catalog. It is a very, very popular model. I would say one of the top 3 models for Vosteed at this current time. Now, if this is your first time stopping by here, welcome to GBall Vision. Feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know what your carry is for today. You get a nice little envelope. I'm going to guess there's stickers and a microfiber cloth in there. Then we have our Velcro pouch. We're going to have a whole new line of Psyop 299s available. At the time you are seeing this video, these will be available, and I'll have links to it down in the description. They have went back and basically refined this even more than it was on the initial launch with very subtle changes. I know this is going to have all T8 hardware. We have a new milling pattern on the bolster on this particular version. They don't all have that, and it's also going to be sporting Norplex Ultrex micarta, which is name brand high quality stuff. And then we have S35VN for the blade steel. Vosteed does a great job with their heat treatment of S35VN. We have a stone wash finish on this particular one. They are going to have coated and uncoated versions. They have a nice little sharpening choil here. For the pocket clip, we have a deep carry wire clip, and that is recessed. It's also going to be left-hand friendly. We even have a lanyard hole there for the lanyard fans. And to top this bad boy off, it is sporting a button lock, but not just any button lock. It is a fan favorite, the button compression lock, the top liner lock, whatever you feel like calling it, perfectly centered up there. And what that means, if you're not familiar, is this knife, because of that mechanism, is going to actually have a true detent in there. It's not relying on springs for the deployment like some button locks and crossbar locks do. So you have a real detent in there, and on top of that, a compression style lock like this with that massive stop pin in there is going to be very strong, very durable, and very reliable. And then you have it in this nice little package right here. I wouldn't call it little, but it is going to come in that mid-size, I would say, just under 3 inches of blade. That's why it's called the 299. We are looking at 7 1/8 inches overall. We do have 2 3/4 of cutting edge, and then 2.99 of total blade. We'll put a couple of comparison knives up here. Up top, we have the Goblin from Tenable, and then the Xeno on the bottom from Vosteed. And 2 more, we have the Vizino Rock Shark here up top, and we have the Bison on the bottom. For the pocket clip, we have our wire clip. These work really well for carrying the knife. Not the most aesthetic thing in the world, but they work really well and they feel good in hand. So ergonomically speaking, and for just carrying the knife, they work really well. Some of the best. You will have about an 1/8 inch poking out there, and you will have really good retention on the way out. Plenty of clearance under there to get this in and out of thicker seams. Good spring in there, and it's going to be left-hand friendly. I like the touch of gray on the backspacer. It gives a nice contrast in between the liners here, and it kind of matches our bolster and blade. So really, really good looking knife in this particular sequence. I saw this and I was like, man, that is a stunning looking knife. I think these are going to come in right around $140 depending on the version that you're looking at. However, I do believe that they have other versions of the 299 in stock, and you can pick them up around $130. I think the final retail price is. So between $130 and $140, you can score one of these, and there is a ton of different versions. Now, some of them are going to be out of stock, especially if you go over to the Vosteed website, but I will have links down in the description over to this knife, and if I can find this particular version anywhere else. I'll have links down there for that as well. We're going to get the arch nemesis out here and give the new 299 a weight check. And I like to play a little game here on the channel with the new knives that come in. It is called Guess the Weight, where I attempt to guess the weight of the knife, but I always invite you to play along. You put your guess down in the comments, ounces or grams, whichever you prefer. Even if you already have a comment down there, go ahead and put your guess. And if you enjoy this type of content, you like knives and EDC, double check, make sure you're subscribed here. I release videos just like this every single day. I'm going to give this a go here, and I'm going to say that it's coming in right around a 3.5. You put your guess down in the comments, no cheating. I'm going to say 3.5. 3.5. Oh, I was going to say a little more. I was going to say it feels a little heavier than 3.5. Oh, got me. 104 grams and 3.7 ounces. So this actually has, for its size, a decent heft to it. It feels really good. Now, that will probably vary from version to version. Not enough difference to make a difference, but you might have one that comes in at 3.6, 3.5, but they're all going to be relatively close to that same spec. Now we're going to grab our calipers out here, get a couple of measurements on our handle and blade. We have a 0.5 and 12.6 millimeter handle thickness. There is a slight contour to these handles. They're not completely flat and they're not fully contoured, but they do have a little something to them. Let's grab our blade stock thickness here. That's going to come in at 2.96, which is like 115. Yeah, 117. And then our behind the edge is going to be, try to get a good hold. And we're right up behind that edge at 17 thousandths. That is coming down nice and thin. Let's see how this bad boy cuts out of the box. And we'll use our standard catalog paper here from 2024. You have this nice little 50-50 area here that you can choke up behind that edge if you really need to get into something. And then this beautiful drop point blade is going to do the job nicely for you when it comes to just about anything. It's not the end-all, be-all blade shape. None of them are. They're all dedicated to various things, but a drop point is very versatile, especially one like this. You have a nice low tip, very pokey, and with this blade, it is going to be nice and slicey. So you really get the best of all worlds here with this particular blade shape. It has a nice cant downward. You have a little flat running into a top swedge, gives it a little bit of character. It is a beautiful looking knife in my opinion. The mini Psyops, the 299s, the full-size Psyops, they are just a great bunch of knives. And you can pick them up in all them various sizes even still. You might have trouble finding some of them in stock, but they are all still in production, and they're going to come in a wide range of different steels, handle materials. They have a couple different locking systems for them as well. I think crossbar and top liner lock. Top liner lock being the most popular at this point in time. It's just because you really get a solid platform. The button is fun, it's fidgety, but you have that button compression lock that is going to be very strong and durable for you. So you really get the ultimate combination with a top liner lock like this. We'll grab our bit driver. I already know that everything is T8 because that is one thing that I read from the little blurb, but we will go through and make sure everything is nice and tight, and everything is nice and tight. Put a little tiny 1/16 of an inch twist on that pivot, but it is nice and smooth. I think I just messed up the centering by a smidge going to the show side, but still pretty close. Give this a close-up look here, and then we'll introduce it to the spine whacker. That stone wash looks fantabulous. My favorite part, though, is the milling on this bolster. That just gives this a, I don't know, it gives it a really cool look. It has a very traditional aesthetic with the natural micarta, the little bit of engraving. It's not too much. It's just enough to really give it a wow factor. Very subtle contrast with the hardware and clip, blade. Nothing real flashy, real shiny about it other than that little bit of milling. I think it is excellent looking. I look for these to pretty much go out of stock very quickly. If you don't like the bolster aesthetic, like I said, they do have other versions that are full handle, micarta, and other various materials, but I think the bolster really sends this knife over the top. You have a little bit of jimping here, jimping up the spine on the blade and handle. You know, I'd love this in the full size right here. I think that needs to happen. Make the full size. Those were straight titanium or carbon fiber. I think one with a titanium bolster, micarta handles, maybe a milled tie clip, and then, you know, pick your steel, what have you. I think that would, I think that is in order. Now we'll grab the spine whacker here and we'll give this thing a little lock check. I don't think we're going to have any issues whatsoever with this beastly system. We've actually never had a Vosteed top liner lock fail this test. We have had a couple of Kaisers fail. Just to put the information out there, it is something they have corrected though, so it's something that's been taken care of at this point in time. It's something they have their eyes set on there at Kaiser. So we're going to test this one out and make sure everything is as it should be. We'll give it a light tap to get us going. I don't feel any movement up or down or side to side. Let's give this a light tap to get us going. And that was a pretty good shot there. Close it and check it. And another good shot. Sounds really good. Yeah, very good. And one more. Nice little double tap there. And one more to grow on. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Such a good looking knife. I mean, tell me that's not a good looking knife right there and combination. Tell me. Tell me it's not. Tell me it's not. I mean, plenty of you bitch out there about so many other things, but this knife is beautiful right here. If you compare this to the straight micarta variant, the micarta, all micarta ones look good, but they don't look anywhere near as good as this does. I mean, even if the engraving wasn't there, which they do have, like I said, new versions like this without the engraving, but if you have the chance to get this engraved version, I would highly, highly recommend scoping it out if you like the knife and the materials, of course. But if you want a classy looking knife with a little bit of flair, you know, I don't typically say, you know, I rarely ever say go pick up a knife or anything like that, and I don't truly mean that here, but it's easy for anyone to recommend a Vosteed. It's just, there's no way around it. They do a fantastic job. They're one of the leaders when it comes to innovation and putting things out there front and center. And they're a small company. That is something people just can't get their heads around. They are not a huge company like some of the other big brands out there, Kaiser, Civivi, Concept. They're just not as big. But they sure compete with the big dogs in almost every way. No, they don't put 8 new designs out every month, but they do put damn near a cup, you know, they put something out almost every month. And if there's a month where there is nothing, they release 2 or 3 designs the following month. So, and they all are kick ass. I couldn't, you know, there's nothing I would change on this knife. You might say, why not a backspacer? Well, you really can't go too much higher with this type of lock right here because you have the liner moving over. Might be able to bring it up just a little bit if it would fit in there, but this knife is perfect as it sits. You'll have to let me know, what do you think down in the comments of the 299 here, or the Psyop in general, or just Vosteed altogether. Have you gotten any new Vosteeds lately? I always look forward to hearing from you. Hit that thumbs up button for me. It really, really helps me out. If you're not subscribed here, I don't know what the hell you're doing, because if you're still here listening to me ramble on, you obviously like this type of content, you like knives and gear, so make sure you are subscribed, ring the bell, that'll notify you anytime I release new videos. I'll have links down in the description if you want to check this out any further. Those do help the channel out and help out what I do here. Not required, and is truly appreciated if you use them. I'll pop up a couple of new videos you have not seen yet. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.